video right here is going to be working on the Vigilante. The Redcat Valkyrie. Whether if it's the TR or the MT, only a couple of minor changes. You'll know the difference between the two. The base platform is exactly the same. I suggest removing the wing. It just makes working on this thing easier. Removing the wheels is going to be maybe something you do. We're going to attempt just to get to the center diff. With this particular RC, there are a few things that you do have to take apart and remove. We're going to try a different route than what I've tried before. One of those trial and error type of videos, I think. I've had this thing apart a couple of times, trying to make this already good RC just that much better. We're trying to make this RC great again. Dude, you know what, man? Whatever, dude. Your preference is yours, mine is mine. So this wing is coming off just to make it easier when we flip it upside down just to get to the screws. A couple of things on top of here I'll have to take apart. So I'm going to go after the center brace first, which is going to be 2 screws there, 2 screws there. Technically, 2 screws way down there, provided you can get to them. I think that's all I got to do. I don't think I got to take these ones off. I don't remember, so mine might be slightly different than yours. This is running a 6S Hobbywing ESC, factory original motor. Everything else about this thing other than the tires, couple of minor upgrades, visual enhancements, and maybe even upgrades that we've done on this thing, if you want to call that an upgrade. You'll have to check the video and see why this side looks nice and clean now. And we're not dealing with 100% factory original parts. So let's dive into this thing and see what happens. This dog that I've got here is absolutely lighting me up. It's driving me insane, dude. Love her to death, but dude, she is lighting me. She's getting me back for the RC incident. If you haven't seen the RC incident involving Daisy, when I check one of the videos, see what we're talking about here, the incident. Where'd she go? She's good though, dude. She's right next to me, hanging out. So she was not scarred for life. So remember, when you do a full top-down video, that's what I call the lazy way. And this is not going to be one of those full top-down videos. You know, the lazy way. We're not going to do that. So far, that's 6 screws just to get to the center diff. And we ain't even anywhere close to being done. So 6 screws, pop the wing off. You know what? I'm going to pop this wing off as a unit. Normally, if you're working on the RC, it is good just to pop these 2 screws off. That way you can flip this thing upside down and you're not putting stress and strain on the wing, because you can create a certain amount of memory in these plastics. So there's 2 screws back here. They attach through this wing mount, through the shocks, and into the shock tower. Those are fairly long. I'm going to go after 1, 2 of those. And then there's 2 screws right here, 1, 2 of those. Another screw here that you gotta get. So we're talking another 5 screws just to kind of swing and get some of this stuff out of the way. As a matter of fact, that's 6, 7. So 7 screws, I think, to kind of get this out of the way, because there is 1 screw that's covered by this plate piece. Well, actually, you know what? I don't need to take the wheelie bar off. I think the driver has enough clearance. So never mind. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will slide off. Then I can go after this screw, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 screws. And then we should be able to 12, 13, 14 screws, then we'll be able to pop this off. So yeah, that's why it's kind of involved, but yeah, get yourself a driver. Not necessarily, something like this, because unless you've got a bunch of batteries, this is not going to do it, because we're dealing with pretty good size hardware. So you're going to want to get something that's a bigger driver. So you've got this long one right here. There's 2 of these. two of these little short ones here. See, and then there's a long one that goes this way. So you have to take off the wheel just to make it more accessible. With this particular tire, you do need a thin wall 17. And that's just with this particular tire and rim. And WAV Racing or Buddy RC, the link is in the description. If you want to get these tires and wheels, and if you want to get the pins that you're going to need to potentially upgrade this RC's minor little weak point, Buddy RC is where you're going to get that. So we'll just go ahead and stick that into there. Then there is one screw right here that we have to go after. So that's that long screw. One of the screws is still in the thing here, in this thing. So we'll should be able to hopefully pop this out of the way. Now see, what this does is this blocks a screw that you need to get to. So, and you can see that screw is still there. So pop that out. You can see the shocks are now released, what you need. What that will do is now allow you to whoa. That will allow you to whoa. All right, check this out, dude. We have got damage that I wouldn't have seen unless I just did exactly this. What do you see right there? Look at that, dude. This other pin broke. So, yeah, look at that, dude. You gotta be kidding me, dude. That literally held together. It's being held together by no pin. Wow. All right, so that means that those pins are garbage. So the factory stock pins on the Redcat, they're just garbage, I guess. So, wow. So I guess we're going to be fixing these too. But anyways, to get to the center diff, you want this screw out, and then there's another screw on the opposite side that you're taking out to get good drive engagement. May want to remove the wheelie bar. Wheelie bar. Because I am finding that with this driver, it's kind of in the way. And what will happen is if you don't get a straight bite onto the fastener, you can have a tendency to either round the fastener edge or potentially the tool edge, depending upon which one's going to be stronger. So now that that's out of the way, these can flop out, and that will release that portion. Dude, this is wild. This is wild. So I'm going to take that one apart. Look at that. The piece is still in there. Yeah, check this out. That's not a weak point that I think is acceptable. So we're going to be going after that and fixing that. And wow, more than I thought. This thing has maybe 12 packs, 9 packs. I'll say 9 to 12 through it. It could be more. It's definitely not less. I just want to be as accurate as I potentially can be. So that makes it almost seem like, and also the shocks are pretty free, by the way. Not completely free, but freer than they were when the grit was. I drilled relief holes in the bottom, so it seems to be working. Because this side was disconnected, it flopped way out of the way. This side is not gonna. Actually, it does. Never mind. I was thinking it wasn't gonna flop enough out of the way. So now I can flip this thing upside down and get to the other screws that's going to take off this whole unit. So like this whole front side, this and everything is a unit, but I also need to take off these side panels. So these side panels, at least 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and I can kind of pop up and move it away. All those screws are the same size. So now you can see that this piece can kind of just move out of the way. I honestly can't remember if I've got to take the motor out. I don't think I do. It also helps to have a magnet, because a magnet can definitely be your friend with taking stuff like this apart. Alright, so now that side piece is out of the way. We're going to flip this thing upside down and go after the other screws. So we'll flatten it down. There's one screw coming through the back here, so 1, 2, 3, and that will pull this piece away. Now we can pull that apart, and look at that. Got a little debris pocket right there. So that's good right there. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 screws to take off that whole top plate. Technically, is what's going to happen here. So. Pretty sure that all of these screws are the same size. So yeah, all these screws, so all these, so the 4, 5, 6, 7 screws are all the same size. So that definitely makes it easier to put it back together. And then these 4 screws are the same size. Now, when you flip this over, you're going to want to hold on. See ya. When you flip this over, you're going to want to hold or support the bottom. So when you pick it up, hold and support, and then flip. Because things are going to want to kind of fall apart here. Definitely would be easier without the tire on, because that way it allows the suspension to kind of get out of the way. So now I'm going to see if I can take this case off. I think that was it. So, yep. So there goes the whole case. There is a slight amount of debris in there, but really not much. So looking inside this truck, it's really not too bad. I should be able to, I believe, kind of like pop up and slide things out. The only thing I'll have to disconnect is the motor, and I'll have to take the fan off. So I gotta take the 4 bolts out of the fan, leave that to the side, and then I believe this whole thing will come out as a unit. So all I have to do is just take the 4 bolts out of here, disconnect the motor wires, and I believe I should be able to prop this up and pull it out as a unit. It definitely makes it easier if the front end was also gone. So we'll see if this works here. But I'm gonna take this out, which should be able to lift up enough. If I remember right. Lift up, pull this out as a unit, put this to the side. This is all nice and basically clean, debris free. I will squirt in a little bit more of the Udder Butter. Differential sounds mint. I'm just trying to feel. Yeah, dude, that's mint. That's beautiful. Now, taking this apart, I did just notice a little bit of debris got inside. So I will have to clean that out. That's unfortunate. Probably would have been a good idea to vacuum this, I guess, to get all that stuff out of there, but there is a little bit of debris that got in there. So you really have to pay attention to that. So a small vacuum or something. Cow RC, again, has a little vacuum. It's a blower vac. The thing works absolutely mint. So that would probably help in a situation like this. I'm going to go ahead and release the 4 screws for the fan, and then pull this out as a unit, and also the 3 wires for the motor. Dude, look at this. I was not kidding. Look at this stinking pile of sand. Watch when I drag my finger through here. All of that, dude. All of that just came from this small little, well, I think this whole entire thing was full of the sand. Look at, there's even still more sand in there right there. Wow, that's a big pile. I did check my tires, so I checked the outside bead, which is normally the side that you're going to have issues. But because this is a symmetrical sidewall style tire, check this out. This right here is where you're going to get a blowout. So stuff like this is stuff you definitely want to make sure you clean out and re-glue. So that could have been a disaster. Disaster averted. Also, we got the sand in there. Massive pile of sand right there. We got this motor thing disconnected here. We're going to try and slide this out as a unit. I think it can do it. There we go. So there we go. Got this out as a module. You can see there's a little bit of debris in there. A little bit of sand, a little bit of mud. We'll go ahead and blow that out with a blower, but I am going to crack this open and get to the center diff, but I'm going to get all the sand and debris out of here as much as I can. Before we go, whoa. All right, here's another something to look at. Holy crap. Got something going on here. Something's going on. We have a lot of debris that is stuck in this bucket. It doesn't look like, from looking at this, yeah, you know, dude, you know what? I'm going to do the Arrma relief thing. So where I can see that is, whoa, look at that boulder. Thing's carrying boulders. So I'm gonna tip this thing upside down and get all this crap out of here, dude. Pull this out. Check the ends, make sure the ends are looking okay. This drive shaft is really getting torn up where that center brace is. Some pretty good sized grooves. And this is where I'm getting a very slight amount of drag. So what might be a smart thing to do is maybe fit on some type of a pipe insulation or something to stop this from happening. So we're going to give something like that a shot. But I think I'm also going to reverse this drive shaft. Look at all these marks. That's not good, dude. That's going to totally fold this unit. Looking inside this case, looks pretty good. Looks like the bearing did its job and stopped the debris from getting inside. But I allowed debris to get inside by not vacuuming things. So this is going to have to be an RC that you kind of get in here with a vacuum. And as you're pulling things apart, kind of vacuum things as you go. So I'm going to flip this over and get rid of all this debris and see what we're looking at. Alright, so the good thing about taking this apart is you can see clearly right in the center of the shot. That's where I have to put the hole because these scratch marks are indicating when rocks got dragged across the plastic and probably caused some gear carnage. There was a significant amount of rocks and debris that was inside of here, definitely getting inside and staying inside, sitting right in this nice little pocket here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a hole right in the middle right here using a step bit. I'm going to drill a hole through, and hopefully that's going to release or relieve all of the debris, or at least a good portion of the debris that gets in there. I'm not positive if that's going to be the total resolve. So looking at this, I guess you want to call this a power module. So there is like a, let's see if I could show you. It has like a section right here that looks like it's like a standoff. So if you look right here, see how it looks like it's got like a little standoff? So I want to make sure that that stays intact. But I was also thinking, man, see, this is stepped up. So I might put an additional hole where this is, not here, but on the actual chassis. So on the actual chassis, right up here, kind of where that V is, I think I'm going to put an additional hole up here. So effectively we're going to have two holes. One for the main gear, so all the debris can hopefully fly out, and then maybe something that kind of stops debris from getting or staying in this area, maybe just like a secondary kind of thing. I'm not sure. Obviously stuff is collecting. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just do the one hole, that way I'm not compromising too much of the structure. But we'll do a good size hole to get the debris out. Alright, so I got my step bit, and we're going to go ahead and just try to align it and drill out to the first step. So that definitely gave a sufficient, pretty centerized hole. I think that's going to be good for getting the debris out. Hopefully it works, I have no idea. This is also going to give me an inside view right here to see if my pinion has slipped, which it doesn't look like it did. That's a Hobao pinion, but with all those rocks getting in there, it probably did. Ah, dude, it actually feels stinking tight. But this shouldn't have been diff juice. There shouldn't be anything leaking out of this. So is it possible that this center diff is leaking? Yes. So I'm gonna pop this open real quick. Why do I say real quick? Dude, this ain't real quick. I'm just gonna pop the friggin' thing open. Gotta stop it with the stupid waste of time wording. Where the hell's my bit, dude? Found it. I need patience. So 4 screws. Crack this open. Maybe I'll pop this top cover off here. And get a good look in there. Damn, dude, we definitely had some leakage. Yeah, so you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to spray this all out. Look at all the debris. There's still a ton of debris in this damn thing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to spray this out with some carb cleaner. Spray it all out. Be careful of the bearings. It is dry, but I can definitely see that some of the lube has leaked. Otherwise, it wouldn't be doing this. So, and the way this feels, alignment of the pinion and that gear is absolutely perfect. And it even feels good. I'm amazed. So I'm going to use the air compressor maybe instead. Use an air compressor, get all this stuff out of here, because that's really what you need. You need the strength of an air compressor to get into all those little, what they call nooks and crannies in there. See how there's like a pocket right there that's holding some stuff? So an air compressor will be able to blow that out. Check these bearings. Man. Still feels good. But while we're here, I'm going to take this bearing out, and I'm also going to service this bearing. Both of these things really need to be hit with carb cleaner. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and carb clean it. Enamel reducer. I can actually use the enamel reducer to clean this. But look at this. The rocks have actually polished this ring. So, oh, is that a big chunky rock? Oh, dude, it looks like the gasket slipped. Oh, check it out. That's why. Look at this. Look at the gasket. something happened with the gasket. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. Zoom in. Look at that. Something that definitely happened with the gasket. It's like the gasket elongated. We're gonna have to pull this thing apart, see what the hell happened. Holy crap. Yeah, this thing must be spinning at some kind of RPM in order for that gasket to slip. That sucks, dude. I don't have any extra gaskets for this thing. Alright, so as things get more nastified, there you go. Here. How about 1X? Look at all of this crap. Dude, this is all a mixture of whatever 20 million that I stuck in there in dirt and gears. Holy crap. So the center differential leaked. That's what caused the openness. And it still feels pretty damn tight. But we definitely had a gasket blowout. Wow. Dude, he just can't help himself over here. What are you doing there, buddy, huh? He's over here trying to push the RC, trying to pick it up with his little fork blades. He's playing with his block thing there, pushing the wheelie bar all over the place, moving screws, getting in the way, being a pain in the neck. Really ended up being a lot of debris that I took out of here. This is all a combination of sand and diff juice. You definitely wouldn't want to use this as bubble gum. It's like it's almost like clay. It's almost like it turned it into clay. It's powdered pieces of gear and all this stuff. So I got to clean up this mess. I'm gonna pop this bearing off, throw this in some lacquer thinner, and clean this thing off with a brush. But it's definitely leaking around the main gear. I can definitely see somewhere on here the gasket has squeezed out or split. I will check these screws for tightness once I pull off this bearing and clean this all out. Check these 4 screws for tightness and see if that's maybe the problem was. Maybe things just overheated. I don't know, man. Once I lock this up a little bit, maybe it will keep some of that heat out. And I think that's what needs to happen. Definitely asking a lot from this differential. So the bearings are definitely feeling gritty. So some of the diamond dust has definitely gotten past. So I'm going to pop both of the seals on both of these, put them in my little lacquer thinner jar here, mix it up, and get the debris out of the bearings, and then repack and reseal. When you're doing these, you definitely have to be careful. Use a razor blade. Do not hurt the seal, but also don't hurt yourself either. It's just catching an edge and being able to pull that seal off. But you have to do it on both sides. So just keep that in mind. Just watch your fingers. Just grab the edge of the seal, pull it up, and then you'll be able to peel it off. And then we'll dunk it. Like I said, we'll dunk it in the juice. So I'm going to do the same thing on both of these. Clean them up, repack, and then just, again, take it from there. Make sure everything looks good. Bearings themselves look like they're in decent shape, but this is part of maintenance. Definitely maintaining these bearings, cleaning them out, repacking them. This is definitely the way to go, and I think we caught it in a good amount of time. Definitely asking a lot of these bearings. Definitely should spin it around the other way so you could see. This is what you want to see. Come on, focus, dude. See how that moves pretty free? Moves pretty free, and there's really, it's a nice smooth bearing sound. Before it was just all gritty nastiness. So I'm going to check the other one. Put on my finger here. This one, I think I'll swirl these one more time. And make sure all the crap is out. So when I put them in, I'm going to put them in with the cage side up. See, you've got like a cage side. This is the bearing side, technically. The open cage, and here's the cage side. So I'm going to put those down together like that. Put it on my driver. and then swirl it in the juice. Keeping it kind of elevated, that way the debris kind of goes down towards the bottom is what I'm hoping is going to happen. Again, my other blower, this is a blower from GT Power. It's okay, it does the job. It's funny is it's got a light too. But the one from SKYRC definitely has a lot more options to it. But using this blower, I'm just blowing out whatever's left. Look at that. Nice spinning bearing right there. Do the same thing with this one. Give it a little spin. Nice free spinning bearing. So the other thing I'll do too is I'll clean the 4 seals that I got. When you put these seals back on, you want to pay attention to the orientation of the seal. So one side you can clearly see the bearings rode on, the other side they didn't. So just figure it out for yourself. So now I'll do the same thing for the differential. Toss the differential in there and kind of just swirl it around, kind of get the juice all over this thing. And we'll then take it out of this juice and clean it out. But lacquer thinner, that's really all you need, dude. You don't need any crazy stuff. So take a paper towel, wipe it down. You still will have some debris that you still got to get out. But main thing is just to clear off the majority of the crap. So, and the lacquer thinner will help release the crap from there. So you can still see there's actually a pocket right there, but that's the silicone. So we'll let this soak in there and clean it up a little bit more. Just by chance, if you've never seen how a sealed bearing, or I'm sorry, a shielded bearing or a rubber sealed bearing can get sealed, or I'm sorry, repacked. Just going to use this stuff right here. It's from SKYRC. It's called Udder Butter. You want to go on the bearing side. You want to just kind of overlay some of this on there. Wear gloves if that's, you know, what you choose. And then you just kind of scrape down. Let me focus in here. Scrape down, zoom in, focus in, whatever. I'm going to put just a little bit more. Like I said, this is bearing side. Okay. So it looks pretty much like that. Okay. That's kind of how you want it to look. Then I'll take one of these seals. Make sure I can see this shiny orientation where the ball bearings were riding against it. And you want to just kind of turn it around. And then you would normally see grease coming through. So I'll just put just a little touch, just like that. Doesn't need a lot because it's going to travel. Make sure I get the correct side, which is definitely this side up. Put that into place. And there is your bearing, all nice and lubed up and ready to go. So again, we got it on the bearing side. That's what's nice about this syringe, is that you can just squeeze out the little amount that you need and then just pack it in like you would like a regular wheel bearing or whatever. And just like that, grab a seal, make sure you're grabbing the correct way, put that in, and I can actually see the grease kind of went through, and I'm going to use the residual grease that's on my fingers to kind of put it in there, because my fingers are clean, whether they look clean or not to you. Do that, and then I'll just take a paper towel and just wipe them down, and then they're good to go.
I do need help.
I'm going to just crack this open now. There is still a little bit of debris in here. It's not all coming out. It's like a big chunk right here, which that's where an air compressor comes in handy. You can get all of that crap out of there that the juice that I got here isn't relieving off of here. So, yeah, not chewable. Definitely don't want to chew that stuff. But what I want to do is just give this a squeak, each one of these bolts, just to see if anything's loose. And I think they were loose. Alright. So, does that mean too much heat got in here? That's possible. So I'm going to clean this off just a little bit better so I can get good driver engagement. And I'm going to pop out 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to get a look under this gear. And then we'll also be able to clean the gear. So I just want to make sure that my driver is getting all the way down to the bottom so that these don't strip. Because if these strip, I do not have my screw out. I cannot find it. It might be in my big toolbox, but it's important to clean out all of these holes. So use a toothbrush. Toothbrush definitely helps getting in there. See, I just wanted to show you what was going on here. See, all that debris is stuck within the teeth. So even though I'm using something that breaks down, it's still not getting all the grit that is jammed inside of this gear. There's a lot of debris and grit that basically got impacted. So this is just going to take work, and that means I'm going to have to do this to the idler gear and potentially the pinion too. So yeah, this is going to take a little bit to get all of this crap that's been impacted. It's basically been pounded into this gear by the idler. So it still feels like gear-wise, like quality-wise, the gear feels pretty damn good. Especially seeing the amount of boulders that were in there. So, and that's where these picks come in handy. This is a cheap $1 set, at least it's probably $5 now with inflation, but at Harbor Freight, this pick set was $1. And that's really all you need to do stuff like this. You don't need Snap-on or Matco or Cornwell or anything like that. Just cheap Harbor Freight garbage will get this job done. So I'll wash this off and see how it looks. Not perfect, but definitely much cleaner. I will get in there with a toothbrush and clean this entire gear once we get this off. But I want to get inside now and see how much fluid is left. There still is little, see how there's like little chunky debris. That's also where the gasket is. So, but there's right here, you can pick this out, see? See how there's still debris in there? Right there. It's not wanting to, there you go. There you go, there's your debris. So that's all sandy, nasty stuff. So the lacquer thinner does do its job, but there's also a certain amount of manual labor that's involved with getting this type of work done. There's no way around it. I mean, like I said, probably use like a ultrasonic cleaner, but you know what, dude? Just get your hands dirty and get it done the right way. So this is where we get also a good look at the gasket. So it looks like the gasket split right there. And I guess that would be a weak point in the gasket. It's kind of what I'm thinking I'm seeing here. Because it didn't blow out. Yeah, see this piece of gasket right there. It didn't blow out. Yeah, it blew out where that piece is. Where this little support pieces, or whatever you want to call that. So I'm going to undo these 4 screws and get a look inside. you're definitely going to want to use heat to make sure you don't strip things out. Shouldn't have to be a lot, but also just enough. And I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like that was just enough to get that open. So it looks like it was just enough. So I'm going to take it to there, move on to the next one, put a little fire on it, get my fingers out of the way. See if that was enough. And that one is a little tough. That's going to take a little bit. So I'm going to have to heat these up to a good amount to be able to really work with that. And I'm going to also use my welding glove just to protect my hands because it is going to get pretty hot. So we're able to get this one, but it's definitely going to require some heat. Might be a good idea to put some heat on here, but I'm going to go after the fastener and hopefully we don't burn out the gasket, because that's the other issue. So we'll see what happens here. Alright, so it did take a pretty good amount of heat. This thing is pretty hot. I was able to get the screws out without a problem. But like I said, it took a good amount of heat to be able to do that. And that's only because I didn't want to end up with a problem. So, gonna let this cool down a little bit so I'm not burning my fingers. I still want to keep my fingerprints intact. Let this cool down, we'll take it apart and we'll see what's going on inside. I'm thinking the gasket is garbage, so that kind of stinks. Alright, let's crack this thing open, see what we're looking at here. So, go ahead and zoom me out just a touch. Pop these screws out of here. I put these screws in the dunk tank to clean them up. And when we reinstall this thing, we will be using thread lock again to keep everything together. But curious about this gasket though. I do not have any other gaskets. That would kind of be a bummer. So here we go, is the reveal. Gasket split. Look at that. We had gasket failure. So that's what happened. Total gasket failure. Look at that. That stinks, dude. Okay. Boy. Kind of a bummer. Alright, so I'm going to have to order up a new gasket, I guess. So inside, the gears look, they're fine, dude. Gears are fine. It just, it got relieved of its 20 mil that I stuck in there. So that's what the issue was. Okay. I got my answers. So unfortunately, at the time of filming, I did do some research, went onto the Redcat website, could not find a diff gasket available. However, over here at Buddy RC, we've got non-asbestos gaskets, 2 pieces, for $3.99. Granted, you have to figure out shipping, but link is in the description, guy. So just showing you underneath the gear. So usually what you do is you can take a pick and you just kind of lightly get underneath the gear. And you can pull things apart like that. Take a paper towel, whatever, kind of clean it off the best you can. You're never going to be able to get it all off, but you can get pretty close. You got a slide pin right here. This is the gear. This is the pin that keeps that gear in place. There's also a washer or a shim underneath that, and there should also be a gasket. So we'll pull this pin out of here, drop that down there. Then you can slide this down, pull your shaft out, get a look at that, clean that up a little bit. So there should be a shim right here. So there's your shim. And then underneath that, there should be like a silicone O-ring. Or some type of an O-ring right there. So all these things we're going to clean. It just looks like a regular O-ring. Looks like just a regular black O-ring. So dip this in the juice and use a toothbrush now and kind of clean all that stuff out of there. Okay, so this is when desperate times call for desperate measures. So all this is blue painter's tape. Just pressed a flat thing of painter's tape across and rubbed it back and forth on the table to create kind of a line pattern. Took a nice sharp razor blade, went around the edge. Now I'm just going to poke holes where the screws go. And for now, that's just going to have to do. It's going to have to do for now. So I'm going to take my awl and just like I said, just poke holes where the screws go. And that we'll just have to do for now. So there's some blue painter's tape used as a gasket. So it's like I said, it's just for now type of thing. So I'm going to put some 20 million in there, nice little piece on there, and hopefully that will tighten up and seal up good enough until we can get another gasket. I'm not sure I'm sold on the Redcat WAV gasket here. This thing does seem like it's exceptionally weak. Reassembling this piece is just going to be pretty simple. Put the O-ring back in place there. Take the shaft, put the shaft through. It's a good idea to lubricate stuff beforehand, like while you're doing this. So what I may do is just put a little bit of lubrication on here just to keep it nice. And that will be a little bit of udder butter. Put that on there, just like that. I'll even put a little bit of it on here, just like that. And I'll roll it this way and then push it through. There we go. I'm going to leave the udder butter in there. So then you want to take your shim, place your shim in place, grab your pin, slide your pin in place, get it pretty even across so that your sun gear can drop right down onto it. Good to go. I'm happy with that. I'm going to take a piece of the 20 million, stick it on top. There really should be some fluid in there. It pretty much all kind of squeezed out in a way. So I'm going to take some of this Traxxas stuff here. And I'm going to push it down and in as much as I can. Just kind of smush it down and in there. And I'll take another piece and smush it on top of that. So that's what we're looking at right now. And I'm going to smush a little bit more on top of that. So take that, smush that, get it to go down past the gears, down below, like that right there. I'll probably put a little bit more in there too. Again, jam it right in there. Get it down in past those gears, way down in there, because now the sun gear needs to take up space. So hopefully that's gonna work. Take this, we'll align it best we can. Looks like it's right about there. It seems like it went right in place. Normally I'll take a driver and make sure my holes are aligned. And I know that that's pretty good. So I'm gonna go with that. Screw it all together. And hopefully that painter's tape will hold. All right, everything's all together. Differential is super tight. It'll loosen up once it gets all mixed in there. If I put a driver in here, I know I can loosen it up. But yeah, it's got some tightness to it. So hopefully this will not be enough. I don't know, man. Maybe it will. I guess it feels pretty good. Yeah, it's got some good tightness to it. So hopefully this painter's tape is going to work out. I've never done that before, but all you're doing is kind of filling a gap. And my assumption, or at least my hope, was that the way painter's tape looks kind of like under a microscope type of deal. The adhesive on one side, the other on the other side, non-adhesive side, and I'm just hoping that this squeezed down and created the gasket that I needed to resolve this minor issue that we had with this piece of garbage gasket that was in there. So, wish me luck, dude. Now I'm going to attempt to kind of clean all of this, because this little gear here, this damn thing spins pretty fast. It's almost looking as though the bearing, see how I'm seeing right there? See how it's kind of like offset? I wonder if that's, well, maybe not. Because I was thinking that maybe it was chewing away, but it actually feels pretty good. So I'm just going to take an air compressor and really blow the crap out of that. Because that's really what's needed with this, is an air compressor to get all this crap that's kind of been swedged in there out of there. I think that's the I think that's going to be the best resolve for that, is an air compressor. Get in there, get all that crap out of there. Okay, good times. Blew it out with the blower, got some of the debris out, but then realized I think the bearing failed on the idler. And I can't remember, is this the one that I replaced with brand new bearings? If that's the case, dude, that kind of sucks. So I'm gonna have to blow this apart and see if that's the case. So in order to separate this, you have to take out this one long screw that goes all the way through, and then, yeah, dude, crap, more sand, more debris. Holy crap. Seeing all kinds of garbage in here. It's like a pocket. Ah, dude, the stuff got everywhere. So I had initially said it with the Mojave RC, was that this was just introducing a failure point that wasn't really necessary. It looks like that. Just go there. Sorry. It looks like that. Yep. Okay, so that was bearing, dude. You witnessed it right there. That was all bearing that just popped out of there. So, did I just replace the one? Maybe that's all I did, dude. Maybe all I did was just replace the one bearing. That was bad. Oh, no, dude. They both went. Look at it. Yeah. You got one ball left. I think. Oh, dude, yeah, this thing totally obliterated. See if I can get a look at this. I gotta pop that out. But yeah. Okay, so it, now that bearing is still in there. That's still rotating. So does that mean I just turned one into dust? It's quite possible. Alright, I'm gonna smack that out of there with the use of little extra force. So while it's not really that bad, we are getting a slight bit of shark finning going on with it. You could probably see it here. Shark finning means that in the positive direction that the gear is being slung. So the gear is basically being flicked this way. That's where all your wear is going to be. So to combat that, what you can do is flip the bearing. Give you some extra life. The only thing is that it can cause issues elsewhere, but you know what? That's for the route that I'm going to go. I'm going to go ahead and flip my gear here, my shark fin gear. Look at that. You can definitely see it shark fin on that side. This side, it's actually not that bad. So that just means what had happened was there was some misalignment. So that also means because we did have a blown out bearing, that the position of the gear was doing, I mean, obviously I'm exaggerating it, but so the position of the gear was doing that, which is why we have shark fin on one side and not on the other side. So it was like more slipping off of the gear. But we'll flip it and get more life out of it regardless. So like I said, fortunately I did have, I don't know how that worked out, but I did actually have the correct bearings. So I'm going to go ahead and pop, I'm going to pop the seals and just check for lubrication of these bearings. Because I'm starting to now doubt or wonder, because I don't see blue on there. That's black. And these seals look black as well. So was it this vehicle that I... Dude, it might have been the Tyrants. So you got to watch your idler gear bearings. Might have been the Tyrants. I'm going to pop a seal and see what we're looking at. Feels good, Larry. Alright. So we're going to zoom in wicked close. You can definitely see grease in there, but I'm going to go ahead and put some udder butter in there. And then hopefully that will work out better than what I'm seeing. So now we've got the udder butter in there. I'm going to take the seal. So you can see the seal has a bearing side to it. And reinstall that seal. And that's how that bearing is going to be installed. Grease encapsulated and everything. I am going to open up this one too and do the same exact thing. Alright, again, from experience, we're not there yet, but the pinion side bearing, here, pinion side bearing is starting to fail in this. Yep. So, God, dude, what in the actual hell? That really needs to be addressed, man. That is going to... Yeah. Yeah, there's actually some debris in there, too. So it looks like we're taking apart the motor as well. Holy crap, dude. This is like... This has got to be like a two-parter. I'm done. I'm done for now. We're going to have to take that motor apart.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, guy, I know. But you know what, dude? I'm done. I'm done with the maintenance for the day. I got another one of these Redcats I could just... Actually, I got the donor vehicle. I could take the motor out of that thing and just drag and drop it right into this. Is that what I should do? So you definitely have to check your idler bearing gear, dude. After, I'd say, probably 10 packs, you're probably going to be installing new bearings. And I did repack even those new bearings with some extra udder butter just to keep that lubricity going. So, not sure if that's how it goes, but that's what I'm going with. Might not be the right product. I just, at this point, I don't care, dude. I'm looking outside going, dude, I need to get out there. So anyways, RC Guy Garage, you're going to have to, I guess, watch for part 2. Yeah, you don't even need to watch for part 2. You kind of already saw everything. All you got to do is just reverse the order of whatever, and that's how you put it back together.
Are you sure about that?
So you don't need to watch another video. Hey, I'm off the hook, dude. I'm off the hook, except for the fact of this. I will break this open. Maybe I should do a live on this thing. So this is the Redcat thing here. The 3670 Redcat 1950 kV motor. Can't remember what comes in the Buddy RC. I'm gonna pull that one out. Oh my god, dude. You know how many screws it takes to get these damn things apart. So, yeah, guy. Can I actually take... Nah, I can't. I was thinking maybe I could take that one out, but you can't. You gotta still take off all the stuff, dude. Alright. I'm not out ripping it about maintenancing, and I'm gonna go wash my hands and have myself some lunch, dude. This is enough. I've had enough. What about you, guy? Have you had enough?
Are you sure about that?